I believe in autonomy, agency, in taking own decisions in education to a great extent. I believe in collaboration, I believe in fellowship, I believe in the power of education and collaboration in changing and transforming lives of students. So that is the main idea why I joined the fellowship. I wanted to connect with people and understand the landscape of education in the US and bring in my own thoughts and when it comes to the Indian context. And in that way, I found it to be very, very exciting to join this, and then I got selected. And finally coming to this very platform and talking to Charles and Victor and Angie, and also understanding about the other fellows and how interviews are being conducted. It has been such a great experience, and the way I have been guided throughout by Charles and the support that I have received, it is immense and it is something I feel is unparalleled. And I really am again and again very grateful for this opportunity.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Agentic Show. I'm Dr. Charles Cole III. I am the founder and executive director of Energy Converters. And for this interview, I'm really excited. We have an incredible fellow who found us. She is in Kolkata, India, and she is the one who told me how to pronounce it. So I was saying Calcutta. She said, no, we say Kolkata. But she is just an amazing and an incredible young lady that's doing some incredibly huge things. She's already a beauty influencer, and she's so smart and gifted, and she wants to do some important and impactful work in education, not just where she is, but internationally. Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce you to Miss Srijani. How you doing today, Srijani?
I'm doing really great. What about you?
I'm doing well. I'm so happy that we're getting to have this conversation. I'm such a big fan of yours. You've been so gracious since we started doing this fellowship, even the way you reached out and how you've been on top of it. And I know we do an altered schedule because you're all the way in India and we're here in the United States. And I'm just so impressed by you and your work and your resolve. And it kind of leads me to my first question. Well, one, I'm jumping the gun. I'm getting a little too excited. Tell us a little bit about yourself. Um, I'm curious to learn more about you.
Yeah. So I'm Srijani Mitro. I am in Kolkata, India. So I'm a writer, a poet, and I am also a research scholar. I have researched on certain pornography papers and sites, and I made a research paper out with University of Sydney Professor Alan Mackey, and along with that, I have been doing my preparation for GATE, which is an exam for masters in English in India. So I'm very excited today and I would love to work with you. And this interview means a lot to me. And I'm very grateful to Charles and the entire team for giving me this opportunity. It means so much.
Well, it means a lot to us as well. We're very lucky and blessed to have you. When I started this, I started in the town that Oakland, a small city here in the United States in California, and it was to serve that place. And I lived all over the country, so I wanted to build something that served everywhere that I grew up. And then it grew into this national cohort, this national thing which is you're part of the first one ever. So we're still working out the bugs, and you've been so patient, and as long as along with the rest of the fellows, and we're so grateful. But also we have two fellows that are from India and that live in India. And it's been really cool. But before we get to that part, you I wanted to know about the agentic education platform that you wanted to build, because we were talking about it pre-production and it was just so interesting. So how about you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah. So my agentic platform would be such where it would be a blog or a publishing house kind of thing where we have students interacting with the teachers and the educationists, and everybody comes into a forum where all of their voices and opinions are very important. So I think that that is a place which is going to be very vibrant and colorful, where we would publish the opinions of the students, and the students would also have the agency to ask questions, while the teachers also learn from them and the teachers also explain to them. So that is the kind of platform that I would like to build. So I think that is my agentic platform.
I think that sounds incredible. And why like art and poetry? Like why do you think we need to focus more on art and poetry and education? Like talk to us a little bit about that.
Yes, so art and poetry, according to me, are very beautiful ways of focusing on our emotions and trying to do the catharsis that is required or venting out the bottled up emotions. I think it is so important when we are talking so much about students and their mental health because of academic pressure and competition that is not only increasing in India to a great extent, but also throughout the world in higher education, especially when we are in our 20s. So I think that art and poetry and the education of arts is very important, where people are able to learn more about the awareness of mental health and they are able to express their emotions better. They improve on it, they work upon it. And it is really vibrant and it is really something very emotional, and it allows you to think cognitively and helps you in your critical thinking and problem solving skills when you learn about the arts and poetry from different lens. So I think that is really important to integrate poetry and arts and education into education in general, into the curriculum.
I love it because I'm thinking about the connection between this agency work that I care so much about, and you're saying that students need and deserve to have some type of catharsis from their education, and I think that's an interesting way of looking at it. So I can't wait to kind of see what that looks like. I know you're going to give me a draft of something, and we're going to start that. Can you just tell me a little bit more? Also, I know I didn't talk about this as much in our pre-production, but you
Yeah.
currently are doing beauty influencing for a magazine. Like you kind of a celebrity in this field already of journalism and writing your thoughts and getting them out there. So can you talk a little bit about the 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 beauty the beauty influencer space and how you kind of see being able to take those skills and interject academic agency into it?
Yes, so I think that beauty is a certain way where we are also learning a lot about the science of beauty, and it is a very beautiful space because it is often said in India as well, and also in other places, there is a certain stigma which is attached to being a beauty influencer or a writer of beauty in general, that you are writing stuff which is very much like a very cliche field as well as a niche field. So I guess that it is not really true because we are learning the science behind beauty. We are getting to know the influences that I am doing there. I am writing about the homemade stuff that we can do. It is not only about the commercial aspect of beauty, but it is also about understanding how to take care of our skin and how to take care of ourselves. So that is more related to self-care, and it is related to our overall well-being as well as aesthetic needs. So that is not aesthetic luxuries, but particularly, but a way of caring for ourselves. So I think that is so important, where beauty influencing is something where we can learn from, and we can actually include that into our education as well, in our academic space as well, where we talk about influencing in general, where we talk about beauty in general, and what is the actual value of beauty in our lives. It is not only about the external beauty, but how we can keep ourselves happy and how we can keep ourselves very much caring of our own selves. So that is the thing which I have learned a lot through this particular niche and this particular field, and I would like to have this in educational spaces as well.
I think that's beautiful, and I think that it primes you in a different way, especially if we talk about agency, because you're already, you're already influential. You're already, and your magazine is it's an American magazine, correct?
Yes, it is an American
What
blog.
what is it called for the people out there?
It's called Pipe Creek Soap Company. It's their blog, so they have a very good range of soaps as well. And goat yoga is something that they are practicing right now, and they are offering classes. So yeah, so
I
that's
love
beautiful.
that. I want to put it up there so people can go visit it because I think that that's really cool. Pine Creek Soap Company.com. And I think that's incredible. And now just to one of my final questions, and then I'll open it up to you. You can ask me anything.
Yeah.
Um, how did you find us? Like, how did you find Energy Converters? How, what made you join? And, you know, like, how is this process? How is this experience been for you so far?
Yes, so it has been an amazing experience, and I found energy converters on Twitter when we first posted about that is called X right now. Twitter is called X right now.
Yes.
So, yeah, so I found it on X, and it was written about the fellowship of students, and it was related to education. So, the idea of agency education, that is the first thing which attracted me a lot, and I believe in autonomy, agency, in taking own decisions in education to a great extent. I believe in collaboration, I believe in fellowship, I believe in the power of education and collaboration in changing and transforming lives of students. So that is the main idea why I joined the fellowship. I wanted to connect with people and understand the landscape of education in the US and bring in my own thoughts and when it comes to the Indian context. And in that way, I found it to be very, very exciting to join this. And then I got selected. And finally, coming to this very platform and talking to Charles and Victor and Angie, and also understanding about the other fellows and how interviews are being conducted, it has been such a great experience. And the way I have been guided throughout by Charles and the support that I have received, it is immense and it is something I feel is unparalleled. And I really am again and again very grateful for this opportunity.
Well, we love having you, and I think you've been incredible. And you know, I do want this to become um, an international organization. We have two people from India. One is from Mumbai. You are from Kolkata. Hopefully, I said it right.
Yeah.
I think there's opportunities in London. I think there's opportunities in Paris. I think there are opportunities in South Africa. I think that young people need to have the opportunity to know what agency is in education, be able to speak, be able to learn how to use data and facts and weave that in with their personal experiences. And I think there is a skill to that. And I'm glad that we get a chance to teach it. A little bit more about you. So I know you're about to graduate. Tell us about university, what you majored in, what your next steps are. I think these people are going to have a lot of questions for you, so also, if you have a place where they can reach out to you to talk directly to you, um, we'll do that at the end.
Yeah, sure. So, I would say that I'm particularly very much interested in English research and literature research, basically. So, what I'm doing right now is I'm doing my graduation in English honors. I'm doing it in English, and I want to further study in IIT Madras for my GATE English. I'm preparing because of that. I would want to do my master's in English. I would further like to be a professor in English
Mm.
and continue being a writer and try to establish more beautiful spaces for writing, like more inclusive spaces for writing. So that is my aim, like to be more inclusive in general and ecumenical in my approach of writing, and also somewhere influence people to do that and be in companionship with like-minded people so that I can make this possible, that the very idea of arts and education, that particular idea possible, and my platform of agentic education, that also possible. So I feel that that is my idea.
I
And
think
I
that's
think,
incredible. I think it's incredible, and we are again so lucky to have you. Before I let you go, are there any questions for me? Any comments? This is just as much as your interview as it is mine.
yeah, I feel that you should also like get funding and you should be like expanding to more places because that is so important. It is such an inclusive space. I think, what is your dream of making this particular energy converters organization more international in its approach?
Yeah, I think so. For me, I grew up really, really poor. I grew up homeless and lived in shelters and all over the country. And you know, there was a lot of things going on that could have hindered me from being successful. And I don't think I'm very successful, but I think relatively speaking, right? And then I started to travel, and I traveled internationally, right? First you start at like Mexico because I lived in California, so that's quick. But then I went to places like Paris or London or the Dominican Republic or places in South America, and I saw poverty that was very different from mine. And I saw the one thing that I saw everywhere though is that little dark kids were in very similar or worse positions than I was. And two, poverty is universal. It's something and it impacts when you don't have money. You don't get the education you deserve all the time. You don't get the human resources that you deserve. And I want to tell American stories. I want to tell Oakland stories. I want to tell my story and places where I grew up. But there are also so many rich, like, stories that people have to tell, and agency can weave those things together. When I started this, people laughed at the thought of having like a community-based, youth focused, young adult focused think tank. And when I was doing my doctorate, when I was becoming a doctor here in the United States, I looked around at different think tanks, and most of them didn't look like me, or places that I came from, and the research didn't feel as relatable as I think that it could be. So I wanted to build my own think tank. I had to call it something else to start, but that's really what we are. And I'll say this: if we do get the funding, Srijani, if I am able to expand in an international way, I would love, love, love for you to be one of the people that helps lead those sessions, and join our staff if we get to that point. But you've been incredible, and we're so blessed and lucky to have you. Where can people reach you if they want to ask questions? We have a lot of education partners that watch this. We have people that are looking for young, smart college grads, or people that care about education and want to talk more about it. So if they want to reach out to you and maybe offer you a fellowship or internship or a job, or just talk and get to know you more, what's the best way to do that?
Yeah, so the best way to do that is emailing me at mitrosrijani psychology@gmail.com. So I think that's the best way to connect with me. And other than that,
Why don't you send me that, text it to me real quick, so I can type it
yeah,
in and put it up on the
yeah,
screen?
definitely. Yeah, definitely. I'm going to do that.
Yes. Yes. So thank you, Srijani. Through the magic of television, we now have, this is her email address, Mitra's Srijani psychology at gmail.com, and her poetry website. Please go and check that out. Reach out to her. If you can't get to her, you can get to us, and we will track her down for you. But she's incredible. And Sarah and Johnny, we're so blessed. Like, we have some incredible, incredible fellows for this first go round. And I just want to thank each and every one of you, because the first time is always the toughest. You all are like the guinea pigs, not intentionally. It's just we're learning everything together. So you've been such a joy to have. Is there anything you want to say to these people before you go?
I would definitely want to say that I'm really glad for this opportunity. It means so much to me that I am here being interviewed by Charles and being able to say about education and everything that I want to speak of. And I would love to say that, like, believe in education and believe in the power of agency. So that is exactly what I want to say. Thank you.
And that's the perfect way to take us out. That's Sarah and Johnny. I'm Dr. Charles Cole III, and we'll see you in the next interview. Take care.